Alright, so we are looking at Champ Select right now, and as you stated earlier, mid-boss Wobo is known for some very strange picks, so that means this ban phase could be very interesting. Coming out with that strong Veigar ban, coming off that Cloud9 game earlier today, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I wonder if from today's rounds from Worlds, if anybody on each team has started to pick up sort of the picks that have started to become popular, especially considering Cloud9 pulling out that Veigar actually really surprised AHQ. And I think it surprised everybody considering how strong Veigar is. I guess it's safe to say that Froggen is still ahead of the curve here.
I must say, High's jungle Lee Sin earlier today was very, very good.
Yeah, their shot calling was really on point.
As well as CLG earlier, who was quite down a little bit in that early game, I think by about 5-ish K at one point, and just managed to win those team fights and come right back up there and smack them, or smack Flash Wolves, I believe it was.
Yeah. So let's see, right now we're seeing some bans. Veigar, obviously, probably towards the fact that it's pretty strong right now as a zoning tool. Mordekaiser, Darius, Fiora, pretty standard considering the strength of Juggernauts and especially Fiora nowadays.
Oh, Cicio with the Braum pick, although he is currently famous for his Janna supporting you, Frank.
I think Braum is definitely starting to become one of the more popular support picks. We saw that Braum being picked in Worlds was a huge factor in a lot of games. And then we also noticed that Zed and Yasuo were banned. Those were most definitely directed towards Skill Biscuit, their mid laner.
Interesting to note, all mid lane bans coming out of CCO's Black Turtles 2.0.
Yeah,
very much like targeting Skill
really
Biscuit.
Worried about Skill Biscuit's ability to sort of pull out mechanical outplays. So let's see, into a first pick support, they could probably run a jungle support pick. See if they could counter it. Right now, there are a lot of pretty strong champions that are left open. And mid-boss Wubo is known for some rather strange picks because he has relatively high freedom. So let's see, Graves is a pretty safe laner up against pretty much any AD carry. He has pretty good lane sustain. Lee Sin is very interesting here. So far, those two picks aren't exactly a huge direct counter to Braum, but they have the mobility to sort of kite around sort of straight line skill shots. So let's see what the AD carry in the jungle for Black Turtles are going to pick. So Poro Sushi was the mid laner for Black Turtles last year, and now he sort of transitioned into the AD carry role with Thrillex, the newest addition to the team, going to the mid lane.
Picking that Elise is a very strong pick in the jungle right now, as we saw earlier with CLG just landing some beautiful cocoons earlier.
Oh, the last second switch to Diana. Okay,
very interesting pick from
really
Sean
interesting
there.
Picks coming out now.
Yeah. Oh, could we see a Jace?
Ooh. I think that is safely a GP talk. Risima, or however you pronounce his name, is like a Gnar Maokai slash GP main, especially in solo queue. And Shower seems like he's a Karma slash Braum main, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lock in GP and Karma. Although Sona would be pretty strong, but pretty squishy against the Caitlyn Braum lane. So I think, pretty sure it's going to be a Karma lock-in. Meanwhile, on the Black Turtles side, Diana and Elise are both super strong junglers nowadays, and definitely strong carry and pulling potential.
There are not a lot of things scarier than a Diana coming out of the jungle 2-0. That is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think the switch to Lulu was to sort of allow there to be some sort of disengage tool because, wow, Black Turtles are really going for some hard engage here. Braum,
Interesting
Diana,
to note, they have a lot of AP on that team right now.
Yeah. This is a very, very strong all-in team coming out of the Black Turtles right now, especially with these hovers. Now, Katarina seems more like a main from Poro Sushi's solo queue days. I'm not sure if there's some sort of swappage of roles here, but I wouldn't be surprised. Garen's an interesting pick. Even though he did get buffed from the Juggernauts, I don't think that Garen actually offers very much towards the sort of team comp that the Black Turtles are looking at here.
I, I do agree that he just does not offer the amount of CC that they're going to need to help out that Diana, Katarina, and Caitlyn. The Braum makes a lot of sense there, but
Yeah.
I would have rather seen either maybe a Maokai. That Malphite would have been a wonderful choice to just combo with the Katarina ult. Oh, interesting pick, the Kassadin.
Whoa, okay, so is this a mid lane Lee Sin coming out? Wow. This is going to be pretty interesting. I wonder if Skill Biscuit is going to keep that smite and build some sort of skirmish blade on the Lee Sin mid.
Would not be the first time we have seen a strange team comp coming from them.
Looking at the Black Turtles team comp right now, though, it seems like there's sort of a strange synergy going on. I could see that Braum, Diana, and Katarina both have those huge all-in dive potentials, but Garen might not really offer very much in terms of providing a sort of a front line for the team. He's kind of a single target, and his spinning blades don't necessarily do massive damage. Whereas on the side of final
Is that a Garen
bosses,
jungle? Could it be? No.
no, I'm
They're
pretty sure
just.
this is going to be a Kassadin jungle. Yep, it looks like they swapped it up.
It's like it is going
It
to be a
looks like it
Kassadin
is going to
jungle.
be Poro Sushi, Katarina mid lane, and that is actually his main. So this is a champion that he's very familiar with. Whereas final bosses seem to have gone with an almost control peel disengage composition, with Lulu support being able to sort of disengage any huge dives. And it seems like Kassadin is going to be a point of sort of the way that final bosses are going to try and play around this game, because their team comp isn't really focused around huge all-in team fights. They're focused around probably split pushing and catching people out.
This is going to be a very interesting game coming from here with depending on how that Garen builds, because with the Juggernaut buff, I have not seen a lot of Garens building full tank anymore. A lot of them go Black Cleaver, very much bruiser builds rather than the full tank builds that we're used to seeing off Garen. And obviously Braum will build tanky, but it takes him a while to get up there when he's running on a support budget, so
Yeah, and especially against the GP. With GP, he has like a kit to sort of prevent himself from being in a disadvantageous trade with Garen. Garen tends to just sort of silence you with a Q and then E follow up, except GP can get rid of the silence and he can also set up barrels. And I think in the early game, GP will be able to push the lane a lot harder than Garen can and sort of deny Garen the ability to accumulate enough CS.
again, making the Garen pick very strange because they did pick Garen into that gangplank. I definitely would have rather seen either a Maokai or just maybe a Malphite or a Rumble, some sort of hard disengaged champion on them.
I feel
Possibly
like
even
they
my
sort
favorite
of
Wukong.
I feel like they moved away from Maokai and Malphite just because of the fact that they already had two AP centric champions.
Yeah.
But really, probably a huge swinging point is going to be how the bot lane plays out, because if Caitlyn and Braum can sort of set up a huge early game advantage, Caitlyn becomes a huge pushing power in the mid game, and Graves takes a little while to sort of power up. And pressure mid lane is going to be important. I feel like the reason they picked Katarina and had Chris, who's Poro Sushi, go on Katarina is because of his confidence in his ability to win lane as Katarina. And if Katarina can get ahead, and if he can pull off some early roams and get first blood or maybe even more early kills, then it's going to be really hard for final bosses to execute their sort of split push strategy that their team comp seems to be looking to do.
Interesting to note that Kassadin jungle is probably going to take a long time to get warming up. He most likely won't be ganking any lanes until level 6. Um, Definitely not going to be really building up very quickly. He's going to need to get that rune glaive early to just keep his mana up in the jungle, and it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that.
It's also going to be interesting to see sort of what build this Kassadin is going to be going. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be some sort of AD Kassadin, simply because of the fact that AP Kassadin is not going to have a very decent clear in the jungle.
Bruiser jungle Kassadin. Ugh. All right, well, we are loading in. Let's take a look at this. Skin-wise, final bosses are definitely taking this home.
So Final Bosses is a relatively newish team. I'm not sure anybody on this team has played with each other before this split. And Black Turtles is actually made of 4 players that have already played together, at least for one entire split. Uridin, Porosushi, Gaz, 123, and CCO have all been members of the Black Turtles at some point, whether it be in the fall split or the spring split. So their synergy is probably going to be a lot better than the final bosses, unless the final bosses have put in a lot of practice time as a team. Shaping up into the early game, it's going to be going down to how skirmishes work in the bot lane. And I think in the mid lane, it'll be somewhat even because Katarina and Lee Sin are not exactly the type of champions that really want to duel super early on. They would much rather just farm. Top lane, however, I think is going to be a lane that's very one-sided because of Gangplank's ability to just completely demolish minion waves with his barrels.
Interesting to note, both teams' lowest ranked players are in the support position. So bot lane will have some fun there.
I think the name of the game here is almost sort of a cat and mouse, with Black Turtles trying to be the cat and the final bosses being the mouse, because especially once everybody hits 6, it's going to be whoever catches who first. And I think if Gangplank can secure that top lane advantage, he'll become a huge split pushing threat that'll draw maybe 2 or 3 people at the same time, because there isn't too much lockdown on the final boss's side. Lee
Especially
Sin
with that
offers hard CC, Lulu CC, but like everybody else doesn't really offer much.
Especially with that Gangplank global ultimate and the teleport coming in, he is going to be a huge global presence even while split pushing, so it will be very interesting to see.
I'm pretty sure the sort of the momentum of this game is going to be determined by the laning phase. If the final bosses can make it through laning phase without having either fallen behind or gotten ganked by Diana, then they should be able to hold a pretty solid control over the map because of the sheer pressure that they have. The only worry here is that Lee Sin towards the mid game doesn't offer much wave clear unless he builds the Hydra, but that may not be very wise to get an early Hydra up against a Katarina because of all that AP damage.
Is there a chance he could go Titanic Hydra, though, and run for the health? Although, he's going to really want that magic resist, though.
Yeah. So let's see, we're almost into the game. Caitlin's still at 100% now.
There we go. let's see how this starts out. Now, it looks like the level 1 advantage. Who do you believe has that?
I think at level 1, it would probably be on the Black Turtle side, at least for bot lane, and mid lane and top lane are about even at level 1, just because of the fact that Katarina and Lee Sin at level 1 don't offer much in terms of how they would trade with each other. Let's do some reorganization of the pins here, and okay, there we go.
Top, mid, ADC. Or wait, no, is it top, mid, jungle?
So let's look at Cassidon here. Yeah, he definitely went AD builds. 74 AD, looks like he put some into attack speed as well. And now on the Black Turtle side, we have Diana. It looks like they're just going to meet each other out in the river.
Get some nice,
Pretty standard start, just making sure that nothing's happening around the river.
Yep.
And then Gangplank and Garen just sort of doing what top lanes do.
Top lane is an island. Alright, looking like a very just common start. Honor code. Who is invoking?
Minions have spawned.
Very boring start to this game. Just atypical jungler's gonna start some camps. Looking like Cassidon is gonna start those golems instead, so very much going for the attack speed there. Gonna get that nice smite proc to get the little stuns off on his peoples.
Yep, looks like a Mira Krug start.
Oh, sorry, Krugs, not golems.
Yep.
Lee Sin and Katarina just dropping some nice poke down there mid. Interesting to note, the Garen is starting Wolves, so probably going to clear that camp and then TP up to his lane.
Cutting it pretty close. But really, this is almost necessary because of Gangplank's ability later on. If Garen can secure the level 2, then he could somewhat farm safely under his turret. Meanwhile, mid lane is just sort of like the early level 2 for Lee Sin will allow him to have control over that lane. Meanwhile, we see that Caston has just finished his red buff, while Diana is already done with his first buff.
Very true, very true. Oh, Lee Sin getting some good damage off on that Katarina there. Why is Graves going so close? Oh, and they're getting some solid poke there with that level 2 bot lane, giving them a huge advantage in that fight. Wonderful trades by Polo Lollipop, sorry, and to Shower. Poro Sushi actually jumping to level 3 before the Lee Sin here. Using that turret to help wave clear.
It seems like Lee Sin is pushing in Katarina, but the CS is still staying relatively even. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it's actually kind of surprising that Lulu and Graves are pushing.
Can they get this stun off on the Graves? They do. They are attacking him. He has to slide away. Nice Lulu shield to save the ADC there. Yeah, it is very interesting to note. Gaz is sitting up top there. He is going to come in for the gank. Can they get that Gangplank? He flashes. Oh, wow. Gaz going back in. Drops the flash for the flash and gets the first blood. Katarina managing to push Lee Sin all the way back under his turret. He is falling behind in levels and very far behind in health now.
This is the pot discrepancy. With
bot lane looking
running 4 health pots.
Wow, Lee Sin making very aggressive plays there and sliding back to his minions. Both ADCs are very low bot lane. Christian has done a wonderful job of keeping his health up. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Lulu looking slightly low on mana here. I don't know if she'd be able to get a full rotation off if they went all in on her right now, although I doubt they would because that Caitlyn is so low. Although mid-boss Wobo is up in the river taking Scuttlebug right now. Let's see if he decides to come down because that Caitlyn looks like a very easy target right now. Also, that Tribush is not warded. Looks like mid-boss Wobo is making his way down bot. Is he going to come up behind and go for Thrillix? I believe they spotted him, but I am not positive. Lulu getting very low there.
Meanwhile,
Garen being very aggressive top lane.
Mid lane is starting to swing really, really hard towards Katarina.
Oh, but here comes mid-boss Wobo. And she just gets out. Yeah, it looks like Lee Sin is going to have to leave that to his jungler to clear the lane. Very big farm discrepancy bot lane for how much final bosses have been pushing. Caitlyn is almost 10 CS ahead of that Graves right now.
Yeah.
I believe some of that probably comes from the fact that Braum has the Relic Shield, whereas Lulu only has the the Spell Thief's Edge, and the Relic Shield farms do count towards Caitlyn's total score.
Caitlyn is also like probably one of the safest farming AD carries that you can have, just because of her sheer base attack range and the ability to sort of just clear in a huge...
Gangplank going in on Garen. Oh, but Gaz is back top lane. Looks like he hits that guy with hits the Gangplank with the Q, but Gangplank will just walk away.
Doesn't seem like much else will happen there.
Very powerful Q from Gangplank onto that Diana, knocking out about a quarter of her health. Bot lane is looking very out of mana for that Caitlyn, and Braum is getting very much down there too, so probably won't be seeing a lot of fights down there anytime soon just because of the low mana. Gaz taking a very aggressive Gromp when he is very low on health. It looks like Lee Sin has kind of pushed mid lane back towards Katarina. However, is Katarina about to roam bot? No, she is just placing a ward. Oh, Lee Sin getting a very nice Q onto Katarina. Interesting that if Lee Sin does manage to get his poke off on Katarina, she simply hits him with that QE combo and she just trades all the damage right back to him. Now, I believe he is probably going to go for that first item Hex Drinker because he does want that magic resist.
Bot lane seems to be sort of just safe farming. Top lane is...
Graves has returned that CS lead that Caitlyn had and is back up with her, so...
Meanwhile, the mid lane is starting to swing really hard. Here's the confidence again that I was talking about earlier. Poro Sushi has played Katarina for almost three entire seasons now, and he's very, very confident in his Katarina play.
So he likes very hard champions?
We also see that...
Poro Lollipop getting very aggressive down bot lane. Braum is very, very quick to disengage that. One of the wonderful things about the Braum support.
We also see that really a source of the reason that Katarina can scale up a lot harder than Lee Sin is just because of the costs that it would take to sort of get to the point that...
Oh, Katarina going all in under turn against the Lee Sin, but a wonderful ulti against her. But he will still go down to that Ignite, and Katarina is going to get taken out by that global Gangplank ult. There is that global presence we were talking about with Gangplank.
But, again, back with the whole gold efficiency.
Oh, interesting to note, Gangplank is the villain. Garen can ult here and will take him down. That true damage from Garen ulti against that villain is very powerful. CCO very deep into final boss's jungle right now. Gonna bother mid-boss Wobo while he clears that, but we're probably not gonna see much more.
So for the mid lane, it's actually pretty hard for Lee Sin to keep up with the power scaling of Katarina, just because of the fact that Katarina could start with a Cloth 5, whereas Lee Sin opted to start with a Doran shield, and that set him back because he wanted to get that Hex Drinker a lot earlier than he did now.
Both junglers have, Gaz did make that gank early against the Gangplank, but we have not seen a lot of either jungler in either lane yet. Interesting to note, Kassadin does have a Runeglaive enchantment already. Even though he did go with the 80 runes and masteries, he did still build the Runeglaive. Lulu and Braum gonna make a little support noodle fight down there. Now, Kassadin is down near the bot lane. Looks like he is just simply warding up and might head up towards mid lane to see if he can pick anything up on this Katarina. He is going to come into Katarina. She does Q away, and they're just going to take some poke. Oh, TP coming in from the Garen. Directed camera, what are you doing? Garen flashes, Qs onto Lee Sin, he simply kicks him away. Lulu and Graves getting some very good poke off on that Caitlyn. Very good trade in their favor down there. 3 blue men are mid right now for Black Turtles. Let's see if they do anything. They have a large wave, and it looks like they're going to push. There is no Lee Sin ult right now. Mid-boss Robo is going to go down. That is an amazing amount of damage coming from that Garen. The Lee Sin goes down too. What is going on? Bot lane, Polar Lollipop, no health, goes in, and Caitlyn manages to take him down. Can Lulu pick up a kill? She does. Now let's look at that trade for a second, because... Oh, Lulu going with the ult. She is out of mana, though, so I don't believe she'll be able to get anything out of that Caitlyn. So for that trade, final bosses have taken top lane. They lost, very much lost in kills there, only taking out the Braum, whereas, Black Turtles was able to take out Graves, Lee Sin, and Kassadin in that fight. Very good synergy by the Black Turtles there. Moving very well as a team, knowing when to work together. That is that synergy you were talking about earlier, Frank.
So we see that Braum is consistently setting up those early wards in the jungle so that they can keep sight of where Kassadin is going.
Interesting to note, Garen has already finished a Black Cleaver. He is 2-0-2 at this point. Now, Gaz is down in this bot lane here, so this is a very dangerous pink ward clear for Lulu and Graves. Looks like Gaz is coming up, but I believe they saw him. Mid-boss Wobo is down in the bot lane too. We do have both junglers down here, so let's see if anything does come of this. Looks like mid-boss Wobo is simply clearing Scuttle, and then Diana is coming up river. They see the Diana. They are trying to get away. Poor Lollipop is probably going to get stunned here. He does, gets hit by that Braum ult. The Lulu cannot save him. Gangplank is TPing down, but it looks like Black Turtles are going to be able to walk away. Oh, the Gangplank ult. A lot of damage going off on mid-boss Wobo there. He goes down. Lulu goes down. Katarina is there. Can Lee Sin clean this up? He kicks the Katarina away. She is dropping too much damage. CCO very low. Does go down. Caitlyn and Katarina both very low down there. Lee Sin lands the kick. She jumps away. He ignites. Flash. Can he finish her? Yes, he can. Caitlyn with the nice cleanup there. Don't believe Gangplank will be able to get her, so... Very much a 3-for-3 trade. However, Graves did go down again, putting him further behind that Caitlyn, who is now 3-0. Several kills going to Caitlyn, one going to Katarina.
Well, Garen is just sort of getting some farm shutting out that turret.
He is dealing a lot of damage to that turret with that Black Cleaver Doran's Blade combo. Gangplank probably will not be able to save this turret. It looks like their inner turret is going to go down up top there. So again, a very worth trade for the Black Turtles. Diana down bot lane again. Can they do the same thing again? Are they going to get her? Lulu ults herself, is still going to get stunned. She's going to go down. Graves is still there, and Diana lands the ulti. Gangplank very much caught out against this Garen, taking a lot of damage from him. And he goes down. That Garen damage is just very powerful right now. Here comes the Katarina down bot lane. CCO tanking that turret. He does go down to the Graves. Mid boss is very still. Ooh, very. Oh, and the Katarina with the cleanup. But can the Graves, or can the Lee Sin get her? He will. Another 2 for 2, but Graves does go down again. He's having a lot of trouble staying alive this game. Interesting to note on the Black Turtles, they're big damage dealers. Katarina and Caitlyn both have more than 4 kills now. They are both very far ahead, but that Garen is still a force to be reckoned with that Black Cleaver.
Meanwhile, it looks like they're starting Dragon.
Final bosses are starting Dragon without a scanner. CCO does drop a ward onto the Dragon. It looks like Tashower is probably going to go down here if he keeps getting caught out. Final bosses do manage to get the Dragon. Lulu goes down. Can Garen manage to clean up this entire team? If he has the ult, he can. He gets Final Boss Wobo. It looks like he's going to still chase that Graves. He is doing so much damage. Can Graves get away? No, he cannot. And Garen is still alive. Gangplank goes down too. That Garen is just so tanky and dealing so much damage and just stuck to that Graves. A very good teleport by him. Final bosses did get the Dragon, but they lost 3 men in the process. And it looks like they could lose their mid turret here too.
So this is what we were talking about before the game started. Black Turtles seems to have a lot stronger skirmish composition, and
oh, Gaz getting very aggressive there. Does go down to the Lee Sin, but Katarina is able to come in and get that quick double kill. Lee Sin going very hard onto this Katarina. He's gonna take that Braum stun, and he's gonna go down. Graves, can he clean up? He gets the Braum, but he is probably gonna die to that Garen. He is just far too sticky.
so yeah, it doesn't seem like the final bosses got ahead enough in the laning phase to sort of execute their composition's potential, especially considering they had a Gangplank who has insane damage and wave clear. His ability to sort of control the top lane just fell apart with all the early kills that Garen picked up.
That is due in part to the fact that Gaz came to his lane 2 or 3 times early game to just help snowball that Garen ahead, and then Garen just had that wonderful TP early game, cleaned up bot lane.
We're also seeing the huge difference in sort of the jungle picks that both teams decided on. Diana with the ability to impact the lanes with CC, whereas Kassadin just sort of had to farm it out until 6, and it seems like it's already too late.
That Garen is just... Oh, Gangplank is still alive. Garen is slowed under turret. Can they take him out? They do manage to take him out. Gaz is in there. Lee Sin flies back in with the Q. Looks like they are going to chase CCO here. And they will take him out too, with that triple kill on the Kassadin. So very slow to start. Looks like he is building up a bit of damage now. Polo Lollipop able to take out that bot turret as well. Lulu not able to save herself from the combined damage of the Katarina and Caitlyn ults. She does pick up the Aegis of the Legion, though, which is gonna be very effective against helping this Katarina AoE ulti. Interesting to note, the Kassadin currently has a Ravenous Hydra and a Runeglaive, so looks like he's going for he probably went for that Runeglaive for the mana regen it gives in the jungle and just the ability to keep farming, and will probably build AD from here on out. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. But they really need to start having some sort of tank in their teamfights right now, because with the amount of damage that Katarina is putting out, they're just getting melted, and Garen is just uncontrollable right now.
Note, Garen did go down for the first time in that last team fight, and they have yet to take down that Caitlyn. She has been very slippery this game and very good at staying on the outside of the team and just picking up those kills. That is also to note that CCO has done a very good job with his Braum support. He's had wonderful vision the entire game. Looking like a 3v2 top lane. Lee Sin and Gangplank looking like they're going to try to bother them. Oh, Garen in the bot lane. Taking a poke from that Kassadin that just does nothing to him. And Garen just does insane amount of damage to this botch Wobo.
He's single-handedly drawing the attention of
He is just 1v3ing down there, manages to kill the Kassadin, and it looks like he's gonna get away too. While the rest of his team just continues to push this top lane, takes down the Lee Sin. Gangplank getting out with 0 health. That was very interesting. Graves continuing to chase this Garen, even though there is no possible way he's going to catch him. Looking like Black Turtles are gonna take this top turret. Now they are going to back off after that because they're all very low, and if there are any home guards on that final boss's team, which there are not. Oh, there are home guards on the Kassadin, but he will not be able to get there in time to stop their bees.
Seems like he might be able to catch up to Caitlyn, actually.
Boss Wobo looking like he's going very hard for that Caitlyn. Oh, he does back off. Again, the slipperiness of that Caitlyn is just very high this game. Looking like final bosses are attempting to get a good amount of warding around the Baron Pit because Black Turtles are in a wonderful position to take it right now if they just pick up 1 or 2 kills on final bosses here. Katarina able to scare away both guys mid lane. Looking like Diana and Garen are going to come up that river. This could be a 4v4 very quickly. 4v5 soon after that. Garen initiating onto Lulu. She is going to go down without even ulting. Mid-boss Wobo trying to get damage off. He has to flash away. Diana using her ult to try to catch up to him again. He does get out with... Oh, and Diana landing a beautiful Q on Kassadin to clean him up.
At this point, it's almost... I wouldn't say impossible, but the win condition for the final bosses here is very, very...
Garen just 3v1ing like a champion in the mid lane right now, doing all sorts of damage. It looks like they will be able to get him here, though, if they do play this well. They are able to stop him from that 3v1, but that Garen is just putting out damage like a champion right now. As we say in the Rick and Morty universe, wubba wubba dub dub. Interesting to note that even though the Black Turtles have been so objective heavy in this game, that was their first dragon. They have been focusing much more on pushing and taking turret objectives, getting that global gold, than they have on taking the dragon buffs.
We're also seeing their synergy showing through with the amount of times that they've sort of roamed across lanes, especially Jazz helping the top lane snowball. And right now, we see that,
Caitlyn is a full item ahead of Graves right now.
And Porosushi has successfully Flame Horizon Skill Biscuit, full 105 CS ahead.
Oh my. Final Boss is trying to get a bit of a mid push here, seeing if they can get anything out of that, as they only have 2 towers so far. Katarina and Caitlyn are up top. It looks like they're going to make a way down, but I believe the Final Boss has had an idea of where they were, so they're going to back off here. Final Boss is finally getting some decent warding coverage in their own jungle, although CCO's ward's just so deep in the enemy jungle right now, at their red buff, up by that bush. Very, very deep ward coverage by CCO. And it looks like they're going to take the Scuttle Crab too. So Turtles very easily could set up for a Baron here. They are very far ahead. They would win a team fight here.
It's very easy to see that just the biggest swing point was the fact that Katarina was able to exert so much pressure, and then their jungle, Diana, helping Garen just snowball ahead of that Gangplank. Because we still see Gangplank's potential here of just completely destroying waves with the double barrel, but just the amount of pressure that the Black Turtles can put on the map.
Oh, Garen looking like he's going to split push up there with that Braum. Can they take that?
Oh, they most definitely can.
Oh, Lulu taking a poke from the Diana. Gangplank dropping his ultimate, making a good zone, but Garen is just there to zone 4 men away.
Keep your eye on Katarina as he waits in the shadows.
Lulu very low, mid-bot. Oh, Katarina jumping onto that Lulu. She does not ult yet. Her ult is still up. Is she going to jump in and do it? Oh, she will not. Gangplank able to take down that Braum, but the Katarina cleanup. Oh my goodness. Caitlyn steals the Penta, but that Katarina cleanup. Oh my. That, my friends, is what we call... I don't even know at this point. That was just wonderful.
I'm pretty sure the final bosses were just completely thrown with that role swap here. Poro Sushi was a very renowned Syndra / Katarina player back in the fall and spring split, drawing constant Katarina bans. Just wondering if maybe they were just completely fooled by the fact that Poro Sushi picked Caitlyn, which looked to be his main AD carry champion. Just sort of looks like that the final bosses are almost at a loss of what to do. They're just sort of going into lane and farming and then just backing off, because that's really all that they can do.
Diana. Oh, mid-boss Wobo up on that Diana too. She is getting slowed a lot. Can she get away? There is the Zonias. There will be time. Diana flashes out, but she does not get away. Katarina is coming up the back. Katarina with a good Zonias. Garen looks like he can't. Ooh, the Lee Sin does get away. Will they block the ult? It does take out the, the Lee Sin. And it looks like Graves is just going to go down. Oh, the flash by Graves over Dragon Wall. Can he get away still? Poro Sushi is in pursuit with a nice quick draw over that wall out of river. Getting away very low. So what looked like it was going to be a wonderful catch for final bosses there turns into the 3v1. Or a 3-for-1 against them. Very good wave clear by that Gangplank to help save that turret. Final bosses.
At this point, it's just a matter of time before the Black Turtles just push in and take everything, though. Doesn't seem like that the final bosses have any sort of answer except for being able to catch one person out.
Black Turtles making a nice rotation bot lane, looking like they're going to push in that inner turret to try to get all their turrets up to that base. Thrillix being very, very ballsy right now, walking around at the front of the team. Looking like we're going to get a good team fight here, and it very well could be the last team fight of the game, depending on how it goes. Garen making an excellent engage onto that Lulu. She's gonna go down instantly without being able to ult. That Garen is just a wall of meat and damage right now.
Garen and Diana are definitely actually stepping up and making the picks here.
Diana flashing the TSM icon. Wonderful BM. Oh, the minions top lane. Final bosses had forgotten about them, but they are still there. Final boss is really just looking for any sort of answer right now and just finding none. Two ultimates down right now there, the Braum ult and the Gangplank ult.
There's just super minions just pushing in on the turret. And the amount of pressure that the black turtles are
Lee
keeping
Sin
up.
just gets eradicated under turret there, and CCO does a wonderful job of tanking that for his team. Katarina looking like she's about to make some very fun plays here. There goes the second inhib. Katarina deletes the Lulu instantly. Diana going for that Gangplank. Can she get him? She does. She Zonia's and is still alive. Katarina with the quadra kill on the base, and it looks like this game is going to go to the Black Turtles. With a 15k gold lead at the end here, just very much dominated the second half of that game.
Skill Biscuit saying stop banning my champs. And it just looks like a very quick game over. Wow, there was, I guess the name of that